Next guest, ladies and gentlemen, Castle Leslie, fabulous place, Castle Leslie in Monaghan, place where McCartney was married not long ago. It's run by the Leslie family, has been for generations, and one of the most haunted castles in Ireland. To chat to us about it, please welcome Mark Leslie, ladies and gentlemen. I must admit, you're probably very happy with the news about Paul McCartney and his little baby girl.
Yes, indeed. My Uncle Jack was most excited when he came back for his anniversary of the wedding. He said, that nice Pete McCarthy with Hayley Mills has come back.
Yes, this is your uncle who kind of, blew the lid on the whole thing by wandering around the town going, yeah, there's a bit of a wedding on in the castle.
He appeared on the main Thai evening news. Friends of mine from Bangkok rang to alert me of this. But as he's a kind of present-day raver, he feels he doesn't have to get the names right of these kind of has-beens trying to trail onto him.
It's very credit to Castle Leslie that they conceived a baby so quickly and that it's been born safely. In fact, I gathered that they've already got the baby's name down for a very good school. A lot of parents go for academic record. The McCartneys have gone for a particularly competitive parent sports day, three-legged race.
Yay! To be on.
It's supposed to be a haunted castle, and if I were an amputee, I would be nervous about going to a haunted castle in case you see like the ghost of the part that you're missing. Just, here comes your arm down the stairs. Why did you have to play with the drill like that?
We have a very high class of ghost at Castle Leslie, and particularly I would recommend the haunted bed in the famous.
Why are you looking at me?
Oh, sorry.
No haunted bed.
A friend of mine brought his enamorata to that bed, hoping that the ground would move for him, and indeed the bed flew around the room. So satisfactory guaranteed.
Ghosts and all that is bullshit. Absolutely wrong. Horseshit. I really do. I really think it's rubbish.
Why? Oh, sorry.
I think there's three out there.
I've got some mediums in the audience. I do. I think it's just, it's all paranoid. And reading your bio, you used to be the guts, basically, as a kid.
Well, there's quite a lot of truth to that. There was a well-known musician called Coates was very cynical about the ghosts of Castle Leslie and decided to try this bed out. So we did our usual routine of putting him into bed with a candle and the Shane Leslie ghost book to get him in the right atmosphere. The story of this particular bed was a particularly nasty Elizabethan character called Sir Thomas Oxenbridge who used to throttle children in it. So he was a bit perturbed to wake up.
Why don't you throw the bed out?
Get a new one.
You went up in the middle of the night to find deep breathing in the bed beside him. And whereas most people would have evacuated the room at that point, he very courageously switched the light on, breathing stopped, turned the light off. 10 minutes later, same story. And with great personal fortitude, tiptoed across the room to establish the fact that there was a very asthmatic barn owl on the roof outside.
See, I wouldn't have evacuated the room. I would have merely evacuated.
It's been quite cool. It must have been quite cool growing up in a castle that's like, it was the name of your family, Castle Leslie, and your name being Leslie. That's just going to make you feel. Because I was trying to get my parents to change the name of the house to Chateau Byrne for years, and they will have none of it. And then they complained when I wanted to change my name to 101 Ramley Park. They weren't going to have that either.
Well, it had its ups and its downs. You were referring to the poor old travelling community. And for years I used to say that the two oppressed racial minorities in this country were the Anglo-Irish descendancy and the travellers. And to my delight, the descendancy have been taken into the bosom of the nation, and we need to do a bit more for the travellers.
Well, probably yeah, I know, yeah. Probably the bit that brought you into the bosom was not taking rent off us for large subsidies. How the little pure coup on your behalf there, giving us back the land. Can you really trace back your family to the Hun?
So I'm told. Before my time a bit, but the
Huns before your time. You're younger than I thought you were.
Well, you talk about scary stories, but it was scary from when I had to move down to Dublin, to Dunleary, and I was warned you can't possibly live in Dunleary. There's a terrible drugs problem there. It's awful. I've been there 10 years and I've never had any problem. I've been able to get any drug I wanted.
Stop it now. You're glamorising recreational drug use. The people of Europe will be up in arms about that.
As well as your Leslie connection on your father's side, your mother was Agnes Burnell, the very famous chanteuse.
The oldest punk in Ireland.
What was that like growing up in that kind of house?
Well, great fun. I mean, as you know, she ran away from home at 65 to join the Radiators from Outer Space, so there was never a dull moment. A lot of people after she died said, oh, Agnes Burnell was such an inspiration. She was like a mother to me. And I said, well, occasionally she was like a mother to me.
Your dad, right? He's famous. He was an RAF pilot and a nightclub director and various things. But he's most famous as being the bloke who twatted Bernard Levin live on BBC. Well, that was the thing that was. Don't know if anybody remembers. A class of 1963, I think it was, black and white footage. You see it now and again on BBC. Where there's Bernard Levin just sitting there, a guy with glasses, doing a programme. And this guy just gets up out of the audience, just walks out and goes, excuse me, I'd like to take issue with you of a review you did of my wife's play. It was not a review, it was a vicious attack. And then just twat. They're live on television.
Well, I have to say it's become staple Christmas fare, much like the Queen's speech. And as an Ulsterman, I'm proud that we Leslies introduced violence to British television.
Ahead of our time. How old were you when that happened?
Well, I was actually in the studio audience, so I was 11 or 12, I think, at the time.
Oh, Dan, sit down.
You try to bring them up. You try to bring up, because my father did wreak an awful lot of havoc in England this time. He was with a whole squadron of Irish pilots that foolishly had volunteered from Trinity College, and their most notable people sinking a British ship in Dover Harbour. He'd made the mistake.
Very good.
He'd made the mistake.
Very popular, I'd imagine.
Opening fire on them, and their squadron leader, whose name said, Jesus, boys, we come over to fight their war for them, and this is the thanks we get. Red flight break off. So when they'd emptied the last of their magazines in the ship, military police escorted them to the wing commander, who said, is it true you actually, red flight, opened your guys to break off and attack that flagship in Dover Harbour? Well, quite correct, sir. Bloody good show. The Royal Navy have sunk more of our planes than the Germans. It's about time the bastards learn a bit of aircraft recognition. So they were heroes, but only the paddies would do that.
Before we finish up, any ghosts in the castle this weekend for Halloween?
Oh, I'd say a few, yes.
Yeah, okay, Grant. You're just keeping the reputation going here, aren't you? Has been a ghost there in years. Ladies and gentlemen, Mark Leslie. We're going to be back after the break. We'll see you. This is the panel. Thanks so much.